Jules Simpson here from Thrive People, and today I have with me Brad Hook. Brad's kindly agreed to come down to the beach on this beautiful day to share with us about what he does for work and why he loves what it is that he does. So Brad, let's get into it. What do you do for work?
So I'm a speaker, author, and I guess you could say entrepreneur, although that's a little bit cliche nowadays. I like to create new businesses and projects that help people on their journey of life.
And how did you end up doing what you're doing? Was it planned or a happy accident?
All accidental. So I've always been interested in human performance, human well-being. I've always been interested in technology, and somehow the dots connected. And along the way, I started presenting workshops and found that I really loved doing that as well. So I never thought of myself as an educator, but maybe more of an edutainer or a well-being entertainer. I think that describes what I do. But creating space for people to learn new skills and to ideally be able to take them away and turn them into practices. So it's not just a workshop where people leave feeling a bit of a buzz. It's something practical that they can take away, share, and hopefully there's a tool to support them on their journey.
Brilliant. So they're not just having the theory and a good time, they're applying that.
Yeah, exactly. And in a world that's increasingly noisy, being able to give people really simple, practical tools is my objective.
What would be one thing about your job that might surprise most people?
Well, it's not always fun, and I'm not always resilient, and I'm not always well. Sometimes I sacrifice my own well-being in order to perform. And I think it's really important that, and I always reiterate this in workshops, I'm not perfect. I'm on the journey. These are tools that I use myself in everyday life. They help me to bounce, not just back, but bounce forward, learning, integrating new knowledge, trying new things, recalibrating when you go off track. And that's really important. So I'm not perfect. And I think when I run workshops, people sometimes go, well, you must have it all together. And that's really not the truth. And I spend a lot of time doing admin, a lot of time in meetings, evening calls, all of that kind of stuff. So I have a very regular work life. But maybe I do prioritize flow state. So I have large portions of my week blocked out so I can work on my most important, not urgent things.
Yeah, interesting. So building on that, one of the questions I do like to ask is, how do you set up your work environment to enable you to thrive?
Yes.
What does that look like?
Blocking calendar time. So I think this is a problem for so many people, is that they just keep their schedule open and they fill it up with meetings by default. I have a week by design, and I have moments for deep work or monk mode or flow state, whatever you want to call it. It's non-negotiable. And then I prioritize exercise, grounding in the things that are important to me, so aligning with my values, then structure everything else around that. So I think making sure that you have those areas and periods for deep focus and gaining some momentum, then at the end of the week you feel like you've actually accomplished something.
Do you have any advice for anyone that would like to get into a similar line of work to you?
I think having multiple skills is important. I think not just focusing on being a speaker, because that is not necessarily substantial. If you find a topic that you're an expert in, so if you're an academic or a thought leader in a space, absolutely add speaking to your toolbox of services. But I think as we're entering a new kind of age with technology and AI and everything else, get as many skills as you can. Now, this might not be for everyone, but for me, having a digital background to lean on, a background in well-being and high performance, psychology, behavioral science, and then weaving it together with learning some speaking skills makes you unique. So be the best version of you, not the best version of someone else.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I like that, about adding in extra skills.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be any one of those things that I've done, but being the best version of yourself, I think. So make yourself the only one who does what you do.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I like that. And if anyone was going to get into contact with you, how do they find you?
So you can find me online if you search for my name, Bradley Hook, or go to bradleyhook.com or Brad Hook on Instagram, Bradley Hook on LinkedIn. Pretty easy to find.
You want to tell us about your book?
Yeah, so earlier this year I wrote a book called Start With Values. Well, I wrote it a long time before that. About 2 years later it got published. So it's a book that helps people to connect with what matters most. Really going through quite a robust process for discovering your core values and bringing them to life. And I think that is the foundation for a meaningful life. Most people are relying less and less on values prescribed by a religion or some kind of spiritual practice. And as a result, many people feel a lack of meaning and purpose. You know, what am I doing this for? Why am I so stressed and I'm not feeling like I'm getting much fulfillment? So figuring out what's really important to you, and I try and make it simple, 3 values, for example, fitness, kindness, creativity, And if I'm really clear about that, can I create some micro habits so that every day I have a little bit of fitness, a little bit of kindness, a little bit of creativity, and as a result you start to feel less stressed, more clear, you know when to say no, when to create boundaries, and just what to focus on.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you very much, Brad. Thank you for joining me
Thank
here.
you.
Beautiful day.